Hello and welcome to this week's Ruby Shoes podcast, bringing you the very best of local entertainment across East Anglia each and every week. This week it's been another busy week as Suffolk and Norfolk are chock full of some great summer shows for you to enjoy. So we've been out and about reviewing as many as we can. Plus we've got a roundup of some of the fabulous shows which are coming up that you won't want to miss. Now, I love to see theatre of any kind, as you know, but especially when it's right on the coast. So last week I popped along to chat to Erin, who's the stage manager at the Southwold and Aldeburgh Summer Theatre. You might be able to hear by the sound effects that I'm in Southwold. There's the bells ringing in the distance, the seagulls overhead. And the reason I'm in Southwold is because I'm here for the Southwold Theatre summer season. This little theatre at St Edmund's Hall in Southwold is 72 years old, and they have a fantastic summer theatre, and I'm going to find out a lot more about it because I'm going to be chatting and having a tour of the theatre backstage as well. And then I'm going to be finding out, because they're in partnership of course with Aldeburgh Theatre as well at the Jubilee Hall in Aldeburgh, and the actors actually rehearse one show and perform another all in the same week. I know, I don't really understand how that works, but I'm going to find out for you. So come with me and we'll see how we get on here at Southwold.
So Jill Freud, when did she start doing the summer theatre? 1984, I think. It's actually in the booklet,
Yeah.
so that's good.
Okay.
I started here in 97 as a student.
Yeah. And you've never left?
I've had a few years off, but I'm always back.
It's such a gorgeous setting, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah. I mean, how many people can you seat here? Because it's a really sort of intimate setting. It's lovely.
It's like 213 or something.
Yeah.
So,
and what kind of keeps bringing you back then? I mean, you obviously love the place.
Yeah, well, it's close to home for me.
Yeah.
I'm about 45 minutes away, so that's great. I love it. I love there's always good people working here. Because they invite the same people back because they know that they're gonna produce what they want to, and people who've been here before know what it,
and it's so professional as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you get a proper professional show.
Yeah.
But on your doorstep.
Yeah.
Right here in Suffolk, which is just so lovely.
Yeah.
What about backstage? What sort of facilities have you got backstage?
I'll show you. It's not very.
Oh, how exciting!
It's not. Well, this is a thing.
This is exciting because we're going up on the stage, as you can probably
this is
hear.
Set.
Excuse us. Hello.
That's Meg, who's my AS.
Hello, Meg.
These are our props tables. It's great.
This is where everything happens.
Yeah, I sit up there. And press
my
all
goodness!
The buttons.
So you're not scared of heights then? That's
no,
like a
it's
proper,
not too bad.
Proper steel ladder that's vertical. Wow.
So yeah, just go. And I do them. So I do the lights and the sound.
Yeah.
Operate those. Try and keep everybody in order.
A bit like herding cats at times, I'm sure.
Do you know what? They're all right. So that's the ladies' dressing room. I won't open that. And then the gentleman's dressing room. And that's it.
Yeah. But actually small but perfectly formed.
It's
isn't it?
snug, but yeah.
So just explain to our listeners, I think the actors here are terribly clever because not only do they put on a performance, but they're actually rehearsing for another performance in Aldeburgh, aren't they?
So we are performing this. Here, there goes the bride. And then during the day, there's 5 in the next cast, 4 of which are in this cast, 1 of which is in the other cast, and we've been rehearsing Rough Crossing today.
And then who kind of plans the shows as well? Because you do have some lovely ones for your summer
So
festival.
there's Richard, who you're going to meet later. Richard and Marianne and Mark, and they get together and look at things and go, right, do we like this? Yes. Do we like that?
That'll go down well.
That'll go down well.
Yeah.
And they're, we like this one, blah. And then they have to look at, schedules and then cross-casting. So, if we had this actor doing this part, they'd be really good for that part in the next one so they can rehearse, Saturday, this set comes down. And then in Aldeburgh, that set comes down. And then we literally swap over. So this show opens Monday in Aldeburgh. The Good Morning Bill opens here Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we do the
A
opposite.
few days of changing over.
Yeah.
Not much, but
So then we do the opposite on the way so then rough crossing opens in Aldborough, and then we swap back to here. But it's a finely tuned ending because we do it so many times that you just go, right, this
Well,
all
it
gets
certainly
wrapped up.
appears that way as well, because when you're in the audience and you're watching it, you would never believe that there was all this kind of commotion going on beneath surface, because it's so professional, it's so smooth.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Hello, my name is Richard Blaine, and I'm the Artistic Director of Aldborough Classic Theatre.
So, Richard, talk to me. I want to hear about the summer season, but you're actually in the middle at the moment of basically the next show, aren't you? We're currently watching There Goes the Bride.
Yeah.
But everybody's rehearsing for another show as well, aren't they, at the same time?
Indeed, two, actually.
Two?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So the season's got 4 shows in it. They all play at Aldborough and Suffolk. So what's happening at the moment, the first 2 in the season, which is There Goes the Bride, opened here and is going down to go to Aldborough next week. And the show, the B.G. Woodhouse show, Good Morning Bill, is coming up here to Southwold. Now, while they've been playing these shows during the daytime, this is being based on very traditional repertory theatre as it used to be, which is my background when I was a young man. We used to do this right across the country. Not many of those theatres left now. While they're playing in the evening, they're actually rehearsing their second show, because we have sort of 2 companies during the daytime. And so upcoming will be a Tom Stoppard adaptation, which is Rough Crossing. Tom Stoppard almost completely rewrote it and set it on a ship, an ocean liner going across to the Americas. And we set it in the 50s with a couple of producers on their way there with a star on board and a musician on board who are in love, and an old flame turns up and causes mayhem. It's a bit like Anything Goes meets Noises Off, if for theatre fans, on a ship.
Excellent.
Which we built, actually, which is quite something, these little stages. And the other one is a very, very different piece play. It's a 3-hander. It's a very, very dark psychological thriller, which is called Snake in the Grass.
Wow.
And that's the second one that I'm directing. Rough Crossing and There Goes the Bride have been directed by Mark Sterling, who's the other director and also is the production manager of the season.
Wonderful. So lots coming up for people to see. And the nice thing is, you say, if you can't get to Southwold, you can see them in Aldborough. If you can't get to Aldborough, you can come to Southwold, because they're going to be played at both. So.
Absolutely. And some people prefer one theatre to another. And also it's a question of when people are free. And for some people, many people, it's the only time they go to the theatre.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I love about doing this, after a whole lifetime in all sorts of different theatre, is that we get lots and lots of people and their younger families who...
I would imagine generations as well.
Yeah.
Who would have seen it or been part of it as a young person, and then they come back and they bring their family along as well.
Yes, that happens right across 3 generations now, because we still have people practically of our patron Jill Freud's generation, of whom we are the sort of continuity company, benefiting from all the props and sets and costumes that Jill collected over 40 years.
Wonderful.
Which is why we have so many period costumes and items items you don't see anymore, that nobody uses apart from in plays.
Thank you very much for your time.
Great pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Joining us now for Ruby Shoes podcast, I'm delighted to say, is theatre director Debbie Thompson, who is director of Sheringham Little Theatre. Welcome to Ruby Shoes, Debbie.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me on. It's lovely to talk to you.
Oh, you too. Now, it's a busy time, isn't it, for Sheringham Little Theatre? About to open, lots of things coming up. Shall we talk about, you've got things obviously for children because of the children's holidays, but you've also got a rather special guest coming up, a new patron of the theatre. So talk to me about perhaps the children's shows coming up and anything else, and then we'll get on to your very special VIP guest.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's my favourite time of the year, actually, Stephanie. It really is, because it's the start of our summer season, and we're one of the last surviving summer seasons on the Seaside. So it's actually our 64th year, so it's very exciting for us. And we actually open with a brilliant family show. It's a spoof comedy based on the Three Musketeers, and there's just a small team of actors and they play all the different parts, and it's hilarious. You get to see the whole show put together in, so you see them changing costumes and grabbing their props and everything. Really good family fun. So we're very excited about that, and that actually opens on Tuesday and runs through until the following Tuesday. So it's a very exciting week for us for children. But absolutely, we have a new president, a lovely Saran Jones, and we're just so pleased that she's desperate to be hands-on, which is really lovely to have a president who really wants to support the theatre. So this summer, she's actually doing 3 different things with us, and one of them is actually a Q&A that she's doing in the theatre on August the 4th. And the minute we put it on sale, it's as a fundraiser. She's going to be talking to a lovely local writer called James McDermott. And when we put the afternoon on sale, it's sold out within an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
And Saran very kindly said, look, Debbie, I'm happy to do another one in the evening. So it was so kind of her. So she's actually doing 2 of those. And again, that sold out very quickly as well. So that's lovely.
So why is Saran, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love sharing little theatre and I can understand why anyone would love it. What's the connection with Saran and why is she so passionate about your particular theatre?
Well, we're just so lucky because she really gets community theatre. So she grew up in Oldham and she did a lot of theatre at the Oldham Coliseum. And so she really understands the value of a community theatre, helping young people, not only young people who want to be actors, but actually it helps young people learn their confidence, learn team building skills, presentation, communication. It's a really lovely place for young people to thrive and learn all those skills that they're going to need in life. And she really understands that. So what happened is she actually lives or has a home here in Norfolk, North Norfolk, and we knew that she had been coming to the theatre with her family for about 2 years. They always came in the summer and they also came to the pantomimes. And there was a real buzz used to go around the theatre. Oh, Saran's in, and we'd all feel very excited, but we're all too frightened to do anything about it. And also we didn't want to put her off as well. So after a couple of years, I just sent her a little email to say, just to let you know, it means the world to us that you come regularly. You know, it really does. We get so excited, but honestly, we won't bother you, but thank you. Please know how much it means. And she came back saying, bother me. For goodness sake, bother me. What can I do? How can I help? I'd love to support the theatre because I love community theatre. And so, of course, that led to having lunch and then meeting her. And she's such an amazing person, very generous, very down to earth, and absolutely mesmerizing as well. She's beautiful. And when she walks in the room, the whole room lights up. She's a wonderful person, as are her family. And so we got to know them and we asked her if she would do us the honour of being our president. And she said yes. So amazing, really
How
good.
exciting.
And this is the first year.
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely amazing, and it could happen to a nicer theatre as well. It's got a lovely atmosphere, you know, even without the celebrity presence. It's just such a lovely, welcoming place to come. So it must be lovely to work there as well. And then also you then go with a bit more sort of a serious twist and classical. You've got the Turn of the Screw, of course, coming up, haven't you?
Yes. And that we're very excited about that. We've got a new young director who's just done an MA at the Royal Conservatoire, and it's her first sort of professional rep show. And she's bringing all sorts of modern new ideas to it, which is very exciting for us to be working with somebody who's up and coming in that way. But also, Turn of the Screw has 2 lovely children in it. So we've actually got 2 teams of local children and they're doing tremendously. They've been rehearsing behind the scenes for the last month so that when they join the professional actors, they'll be able to put them through their paces. You know, these young actors will probably know more than the professionals by the time they come to rehearse. So it's a lovely opportunity to give young people who have been working with us as part of our drama group, to give them an opportunity to work in professional theatre. Is really exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that production.
Oh, you must be. And then a bit more light-hearted. It's Her Turn Now from Friday the 16th of August. Tell us more about that.
Well, that is a farce. We always have to have a farce. And to be honest, it's the one that sells out first. Everyone loves a farce. And Ray Cooney is the master of farce, as we know. And what's happened recently, he's been working with a new writer called Michael Barford. And Michael has been sort of making the farces a bit more PC because, they're a little bit outdated, some of Ray's farces now. So he's been updating them. And actually, he's been changing the gender of the lead person. So this is a play that used to be called Out of Order, and it had a male MP who was a philanderer. Well, now it's called It's Her Turn Now, and it's a female MP who is having an affair with a young advisor to the opposite government. So they've really turned the tables, and it's far more a strong woman's piece of theatre as well. But great fun, and we're really looking forward to it. And it's been done at the Mill at Sonning. That was the premiere for it, and we're the next theatre in England to be doing it. So Mill at Sonning have been really helpful. There's some really tricky staging in it. It's very clever with all the doors and the windows and everything, and they've been advising us and helping us. So lovely that the theatre of that stature has been working with us, and Michael Barfoot will be down here and working with us on it as well. So it's really special for us, that one.
What I like about the Showing with Mill Theatre is, I mean, it's a great name because it is a little theatre, and you really do feel that you're very much an integral part of what's going on because you're so close to the action. It's brilliant. And I remember coming and seeing a farce myself there once, and I laughed so loud. I think I was interrupting the actors. I didn't mean to, but it was just so funny. And my husband kept sort of whispering to me, just don't laugh so loud. I thought, well, it's funny, but it was just brilliant, and I'm sure they didn't really mind. But that's fantastic. And then you've also got another audience with this time Steve Spears. That's on Sunday, the 18th of August. Tell me a bit more about Steve.
Oh, well, now I was very lucky because I went to university with Steve. So I've known Steve since I was about 18. And he's an amazing guy, and he's had a really brilliant career. Well, still having it. He won't like me saying that. He's still having a brilliant career. He's done lots of things. He works a lot with Ricky Gervais, so he's done extras a lot. Stephen Merchant, he's worked with him. But he's also been in Pirates of the Caribbean. He's did Upstart Crow in the West End recently. So he's a really successful actor, and it's amazing, and a lovely comic and a lovely gentleman. He's exactly as he was when I remember him at uni. He still likes his beer, and he's still a rugby boy. So no, really lovely. And he came and did a play with us last year, and actually his son Lewis, who is my godson, is actually in the Three Musketeers, because he was with us last year, and he was so good that we've asked him back this year. So Steve wanted to come and see his son in the show. So I said, oh, could you do a charity evening for us? And he said, oh, go on then. So he's very kindly donating the fee to the little theatre, which is great, and hopefully be great fun. And there's a local comic called Greg Powers who's going to be his warm-up, as it were. So it should be a really fun evening. I hope so anyway.
Debbie, you're so well connected, aren't you?
I was just lucky. It's a lot of luck, isn't it, that happens in theatre. It often is a lot of luck. I've got a lot of young people coming up now who are at drama school, and I say to them, make sure you get to Hollywood. And when you do, remember the little theatre. Please come back and help us.
I think so. But I think also it's the way you are with people. If you're lovely to people, then they want to be, helpful to you. And you are, and you're very passionate about the theatre. They're very lucky to have you there as theatre director, I think. And then we better round off, hadn't we, for the end of August, really, because hopefully the summer's going to hang out till then. Relatively speaking, starting on Tuesday, the 27th of August. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, that actually is an Ayckbourn, and we always do an Ayckbourn. They sell really well. People love Alan Ayckbourn. And again, what you said about the intimacy of the little theatre, I think people love seeing an Ayckbourn there because they feel like they're a real fly on the wall watching this dysfunctional family, and everything. So we know that that'll be very popular, and we're really looking forward to doing it. Should be a lovely show. Very good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, Debbie, I can see that it's definitely your favourite time of year. I think any time of year working in theatre must be, it's busy, but it's just so much fun because you're just always surrounded by such lovely people. Thank you ever so much for talking to us today for Ruby Shoes podcast. It's been a pleasure, and have a fabulous season, won't you?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, you might remember a couple of weeks ago on the Ruby Shoes podcast, we were chatting to Lindy, who's the owner and creator of Thorrington Amphitheatre, which is an outdoor theatre nestled in Woodland in Suffolk near Saxmundham. Throughout the summer, Lindy explained they have a host of shows on offer, from comedy to opera to children's shows and music performances too. Well, we were invited along to see the travelling theatre company Tethered Wits performing Stiff Upper Lip, a Jeeves and Wooster comedy written by P.G. Woodhouse. Have a listen.
When one is writing a play, it's important to start with a light-hearted number. Perhaps some guitar. Thank you, Jeeves. We welcome you all to our play on this glorious and sunshiny day. We pray you lend us your ears, and we promise to fill them with cheers, where smiles and mirth shall both hold sway. There'll also be pain. With drama, mischief, comedy. And all of it's written by yours truly. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then stop.
Now, we took a picnic along and arrived early before the show, as they've got a huge area to park and enjoy your picnic, and we sat and watched the sun setting as we ate before the performance started. Then we made our way into the Woodland. It's all helpfully signposted and lit, and it has its very own Woodland bar and ticket office, so you can purchase tickets on the night or in advance on the Thorrington Theatre website. The amphitheatre is constructed out of wood, which they gathered from the woodland that surrounds it, and it's got a huge stage. And I would recommend you take a seat pad with you or just a blanket to sit on. The acoustics, as you could probably hear from that piece you just heard, incredible. They're not mic'd up. That was just the acoustics of the amphitheatre itself. The best part, or at least one of the many best parts of this beautiful setting, is it's dog friendly. So producer Ruby, our four-legged member of the Ruby Shoes team, was able to join us. Check out our Facebook page to see her expression of sheer joy at sitting between mum and dad before the performance began. Tethered Wits are masters of both comic timing and musicianship, and there was music too as part of this hilarious performance of Bertie Wooster and his escapades. If you've not been to Thorrington Theatre before, I can highly recommend it, and the picnic beforehand as well. They'll even provide you with a picnic if you book in advance. It did make for a really magical evening under a big wide open Suffolk sky.
What's on across Suffolk with Stephanie McIntyre, sponsored by Ruby Shoes Podcast, your weekly entertainment news podcast, available from your smart speaker, Apple, Spotify, or you just follow Ruby Shoes Podcast on Facebook and click on the weekly podcast link to listen.
There's a host of great summer shows on offer across Suffolk's magnificent theatres, and here's just a selection to tempt you. Monday the 5th through to Saturday the 17th of August, There Goes the Bride, an hilarious classic farce presented by Aldeburgh Classic Theatre. Timothy Westbury, overworked, stressed-out 1970s advertising exec, is accidentally concussed on the morning of his daughter's eye-wateringly expensive wedding. On coming round, he finds he's seemingly partnered by a glamorous girl who whisks him back to the glitz and romance of the 1920s. Trouble is, only Tim can see her. While he's delighted, his friends and family are dumbfounded and distraught, and hilarious chaos ensues in what has been called the fastest and funniest of the many West End hits from the masters of traditional English farce. Rain or shine, they look forward to welcoming everybody to the Aldeburgh Jubilee Hall. To book, you can call them on 01728 343 344 or just go to aldeburghjubileehall.co.uk. Friday the 9th of August at Thorrington Amphitheatre, the open-air theatre in the woods just outside Saxmundham. They present The Gondoliers from 7 o'clock. Set in picturesque Venice, this light-hearted operetta will whisk you away to a world of blissful romance, barbed satire and comic chaos. Two charming gondoliers, Marco and Giuseppe, suddenly find themselves elevated to the status of royalty. Each tasked with choosing their queen from a bevy of beautiful women, hilarity ensues when the rightful queen arrives demanding to know which of the men is her husband. As the plot thickens and the absurdity reaches its peak, love triumphs and the gondoliers discover that happiness lies not in noble titles, but in the simplicity of true love. The witty lyrics of Gilbert and catchy melodies of Sullivan are not to be missed. To book your tickets, go to thoringtontheatre.co.uk. And don't forget, arrive a little early and pack a picnic, or you can just order one online and it'll be ready for your arrival. Saturday the 10th of August, harmonica phenomenon Steve Lockwood has joined forces with the Apex to put on a workshop for harmonica players of all abilities, including complete beginners. The workshop will help any harmonica player to improve their blues and pop playing and get the best out of this deceptively humble instrument. Steve isn't just a musician with a worldwide reputation who's played with acts from Larry Adler, Chris Difford of Squeeze and Screaming Lord Sutch to the Royal Philharmonica Orchestra. He's also recorded over 80 albums. He's got a degree in harmonica players from the Anglia Ruskin University in Cambridge, and he's a fully qualified teacher and lecturer. So workshop participants will play new blues rhythms, cool country wails, pitch bend all the way down and jam along with well-known solos. Each workshop is different with new material and no need to read music as there'll be notation. Check out theapex.co.uk to find out more. The Spa Pavilion in Felixstowe invite you to twist and shout on Saturday the 10th of August, a journey back to the swinging 60s. An all-star cast from West End deliver a musical powerhouse of a show that starts with the explosion of Britpop in 1962 through to the era of flower power and free love in the late 60s. Music lovers are invited to return to a time when skirts got shorter and hair got longer, as an incredible cast revive the hits of the Beatles, Herman's Hermits, Jerry and the Pacemakers, the Rolling Stones, Cilla Black, Manfred Mann, Dusty Springfield, Lulu, Sandy Shaw and many more. Go to spapavilion.uk to get your tickets. And finally, the Red Rose Chain Theatre Company is now in full swing performing A Midsummer Night's Dream in the Forest at Sutton Hoo, right through until the 24th of August. It's Shakespeare as you've never seen it before, outdoors and under the stars. Go to redrosechain.com to find out more. Don't forget, you can always get in touch with us via our Facebook page at Ruby Shoes Podcast. We love to hear about your forthcoming plays, comedy, or outdoor events so we can tell everybody else. You can listen again to any of the Ruby Shoes podcasts via Apple or Spotify, or simply clicking on our podcast links, which we post on our Facebook page. You can follow us too there for all the latest entertainment news. I'm Steph McIntyre. Thanks for listening, and we'll chat more about live theatre and all kinds of entertainment next week. In the meantime, check out our socials at Ruby Shoes Podcast. We'd love you to follow us and have a great week.